Welcome to another Diverse Voices in Banking series. It is my honor today to be interviewing Daniel Rivera, who is the marketing coordinator at the Bank of New Glarus, just south of Madison here. Welcome, Daniel. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed today.
Thank you for having me, Rose. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, I look forward to our conversation. So let's get started. First of all, as a successful banker, you've been in the industry now for 7 years. What do you consider so far to be your greatest accomplishment?
You know, it's funny because I struggle with even the title of banker because I started in the IT department, and after that, I worked my way into marketing. But never have I opened an account. Never had to worry about loans or deposits, and so I was actually talking to a coworker. I was like, "But am I a banker?" And she's like, "Yes, you absolutely are a banker. We as a bank all work together, and you're one important." I threw the word important in there. I am an important cog in the machine of the bank here. That being said, I would have to say in the 7 years. One of the biggest accomplishments and success stories that I have had is we were going through a core conversion.
Mhm.
As any banker can tell you, that's not the easiest thing to do.
Never fun, no.
Oh yeah. So, from the moment that it was announced, in leading up to it, there was a lot of uncertainty. Um, uh, there was fear, and that was just internal.
Yeah.
Everybody's stuck in their processes. What does this mean? What is it going to do for us? Um, and so one of the first things that I did was, well, this is an improvement. Obviously, we wouldn't convert if it wasn't. So let's first start looking at it from a different perspective. Let's stop saying the word change. Yes, things are going to change, but once you say the word change, people get uneasy about it. So let's start calling it an upgrade. An upgrade is always a good thing. It means you're doing something better. So going from that perspective and changing some of the minds internally was then taking that and going to our customer base, because once the word was getting out that things might change, there was some fear throughout our customers. So putting together the day of conversion day, go live, I put together a group of people from different areas of the bank, and we created a war room where it was like a call center so that we can help people troubleshoot things. Now, for me, I've held several other types of jobs in different industries before banking, and so I was able to pull a lot of my different experiences. I worked in the food services industry. I know, what it's like when somebody's not satisfied. I worked, in software support. I've even worked, parking cars, but dealing with people in the community. So a lot of these things and hearing people's concerns was able to help me to address them. And even from an IT standpoint, even though I'm in marketing now, I was able to field a lot of those calls and help ease people's troubles, logging on to their online banking, what do I do? So I was able to kind of pull a lot of different experiences together for that moment when people needed to be reassured that things were going to be okay and that it indeed was an improvement and an upgrade for everyone. So we made it out the other side without a problem.
Well, that's great.
Without a problem. A lot better off than we were.
Right. It truly was an upgrade, right? But that's a great point. I mean, words really do matter. So it's very intuitive of you to really think about that as you go through the process and think about how your customers are going to react. And it's a great point.
Thank you.
So what do you think so far your role models have been, or who are your role models in or out of the industry that have been really inspirational to you?
I start thinking about people in the industry, and there are a lot of people that I can name, people that I look up to in my own career path, as well as people that I work with and for. But when I think about community, we are a community bank, and what we do is for the community. The person that comes to my mind does not work in banking. His name is Eric Salzwedel. And I've come to know him. I call him a friend, and we crossed paths. There was a volunteer opportunity that I had, and I was helping out a nonprofit. And I met him, and he is just an all around sincere, great guy who does work for people for the sake of enriching people's lives, for the sake of bringing voices to people who might not have voices. Just, doing a lot of those sort of things that, make you want to have someone like Eric in your community. Like I said, he was with a nonprofit, and that's how I met him.
Sure.
Um, and a lot of times, you don't know how genuine somebody is. Somebody can be doing something just for show. And so, over the years, seeing him do the things that he's doing, and he's gone on from that nonprofit, and he has his own consulting business that deals in that sector and helping businesses do things like that. And he there's an organization that he founded called Do Good Wisconsin.
Oh, neat.
If you look them up, they're doing great things, not just in the smaller community, but in the larger community as a whole. But seeing him kind of grow, knowing that, okay, my initial reaction or my impression of him, and the fact that he is genuine, like he proved to me, yeah, this is definitely somebody who's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for everyone else. And so that's the kind of things, like, I say, when I met my wife and we started dating, she said, "How do I know that everything you're telling me is genuine, not just, and I said, "What I tell you and what, somebody else tells you who may, be not the right one, we're going to tell you the same exact thing. The only way you'll know for sure that I'm sincere in what I say is after a period of time. Time will tell. If 10 years down the road, I'm still doing these things that I promised you I would do, or, kind of courting you in the same way that I did when we first met, then you know it's real." And so that's how I was with Eric. After this amount of time have passed, and I'm just watching him, it's like, you know what, like, you inspire me to kind of do more and be out there and be more involved in the community.
Oh, he sounds like a great person, certainly personally, for your own development, but also really as a banker. That's what a lot of bankers do, is help out in their communities and
Right.
carry a lot of those attributes of sincerity and trust. It means a lot to customers of banks, for sure.
Right.
Well, my last question for you is, what do you really consider important for the banking industry to do or to understand in order to continue to best serve persons of color?
I would say, I mean, you said the words there. It's sincerity and trust. They go hand in hand. And to kind of call back to what I was saying, time will tell. Sometimes you put something out there, or you do something, you're like, well, I'm not getting a reaction to it, or people don't realize that what we're doing is sincere. It's like, because there are a lot of people out there in this world who do things for show.
Right.
And speaking about persons of color or communities, um, just changing your logo one day a year is not enough. That's for show. Like, we need to see consistency. We need to see the efforts that you're making are sincere. That means, as a bank, and I like to say that it's more than just money. It really is the people. So
Hmm.
we give money to different organizations and nonprofits and fund, the community in that way. But what matters most is when you see your employees and even the people at senior level out in the community doing the different things that help the community, or even just being a part of the community, whether it's, going to church on a Sunday, or shopping at this local business, or showing up for different events. That's what we need to see. And it has to be consistent. There has to be I like to say that it's like a great athlete doesn't just throw a ball or kick a ball, or, it's all about the follow through, the form and the follow through. So you have to think about the setup, you have to think about the action, you have to think about the follow up. And like I said, just doing something one time a year, or, putting something out there and hoping to get a reaction is not going to do it. You have to follow through, follow through on your word, follow through on what your brand is. And, as a community bank, hopefully community is at the top of that list of, why you do what you do. But the people of the community will recognize after time, yeah, when it's time to make decisions, and and specifically thinking about underrepresented communities. If there's a level of distrust from the get-go, it's going to take a little while before, you know, we, speaking as a consumer, we think about connecting to a brand. Um, and so that's really what it is: consistency and follow through.
Yeah, no, those are great points. Really just being genuine in who you are, what type of business and bank you are, and being persistent and consistent, right? To continue that message so that people understand it's not just for show. There's really meaning behind it. So great points. Well, it's been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit better today, Daniel. Thank you for being willing to share and be part of our video series here. I really appreciate your time. It's been great to get to know you better.
Same here, Rose. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yep, thank you as well.